11's in just a moment. Atletico de Madrid already through to the next round of the Copa del Rey, which of course is coming up in the next fortnight. The first leg of the quarter-finals next week, and the second leg the week after. And the week after that, the semi-finals first leg, and that is also concluded 7 days later. So all bar the final will be wrapped up by early February, which will be played in April. Early attacking intent from the home side as they came out down the tunnel. The Las Palmas players already on the field going through their warm-up routines. And Valencia players shouting, everybody switched on right from the start, and so it has proven to be. They came out and immediately looked to get on the attack. They won that second goal, Valencia. That cushion, try and stop a Las Palmas comeback here. Ball trying to be played inside. Tony Lato to find Halilovic. Maximovic to Nacho Gil. Forward to Zaza. Goes over again, and once again, just as in the first half, told to get up by the referee. So we'll run you through those two starting sides. In goal for Valencia, Jaume Domènech, Tony Lato, Gabriel, Ruben Vesso and Martin Montoya at the back. And across the midfield, Nacho Gil, Jeffrey Kondogbia and Nemanja Maximovic alongside Andreas Pereira. And going forward, Simone Zaza with the goal scorer tonight, Luciano Vieto. And for Las Palmas, Raul Lithuanian in goal. David Simon, David Garcia, Mauricio Lemos and Dani Castellano. The back four, Javi Castellano, Alen Halilovic, Vicente Gomez and indeed Hernan in the midfield, along with Jairo Samperio just ahead of them. And up front is the lone striker, Jonathan Cayeri. Now it's Las Palmas' turn to get the ball into the area, hooked away, and the attempted shot never really going to be connected with there. Dani Castellano just swinging a leg at it. So it will be a goal kick to the home side. Foul there in the centre of the park. Vieto knocked over, the referee right on the scene. Down the outside now, Andreas Pereira into the centre for Vieto for his second, up and over the keeper and into the net. And it is 2-0, 2 goals for Vieto. 2 very good finishes indeed from the player on loan from Atletico de Madrid. And that puts Valencia very much in command now of this Copa del Rey tie. Good flowing move, and I said Valencia had started the second half on a high. And they've got the goal at the end of it now. Smiles all round. Vieto having a night to remember in a Valencia shirt. Well worked this down the right-hand side. The ball in, good control from Vieto. They'll be looking on from Wanda Metropolitano, wondering if they shouldn't have kept him on. They paid over 30 million euros for Vitolo. Got to say, Vieto proving that may be money wasted. Good ball in. Great first touch there. Great clinical control across the keeper. Lithuanian taken out of the equation. And it is 2-0 to Losche with 49 minutes gone. So Las Palmas now with it all to do. What have Las Palmas got to offer now? 2 goals down. And they now do need to score twice with the away goal going in favour of Valencia. That is ruled out. And even to take it on now, we won't be going to extra time and penalties if Las Palmas do indeed keep themselves in the competition, because they will draw it to 2-2 and have the away goal in that favour. But at the moment, they haven't been able to register one goal this evening. They've had a couple of opportunities in that opening half. Valencia look like they are keen on getting more here. One thing Las Palmas won't want to do is suffer a heavy defeat in this one, even if they are to go out of the competition. I certainly wouldn't say this is what the club are thinking, but they may not be too bothered behind closed doors if they do go out of this season's competition. Another header comes in. Zaza keeps it from going out, and Lithuania on that occasion able to snatch it up. Given the position that Las Palmas are in the league, all these extra midweek games they may be able to do without, but they won't want a demoralising reverse here tonight. In fact, a positive result if they were able to come back and draw 2-2 may well boost confidence around the club. Paco Gémez, of course, the new coach, still trying to get his ideas across, implement a new game plan from the one employed. Well, whether Paco yesterday really had enough time, certainly didn't get the results off the bat that the club required. Maybe if he was given more time, things could have worked. David Simon on that occasion, no foul. I was going to say committed the foul, waiting for the referee to pull it back. Instead, Alen Halilovic looks to attack the Las Palmas or the Valencia back line. Now a chance for Cayeri. A really good diving tackle. Martin Montoya to put off the Las Palmas striker. In the end, he scuffs it well wide of the mark, but danger from the away team there. Just maybe shouldn't have taken that touch. I know it's easy to say from up here, but had the opportunity. There's the header from Nacho Gil. Sasa keeping it in, but not able to hook it back quite as he perhaps would have liked. Here is David Simon looking down the line. Zaza back. Good covering from Valencia, has to be said. Good pressure on the ball. Danny Castellano looking to push the away team forward down the far side. Good covering again from Martin Montoya, and a good game over there at right back. Flicked out wide to Pereira, who then buys Valencia the goal kick. Valencia putting in a very strong performance despite having some first choice players not in the side this evening. Still a fairly strong side, but as I said, on the bench, the likes of Gonzalo Guedes, Dani Parejo, Rodrigo Moreno, not available, Jose Luis Gallar as well, along with in the central defence, Ezequiel Garay. Marcelino keen to progress to the next round of the competition. Perhaps try and go a long way. A trophy for Valencia, and if they weren't able to win the league, would mean an awful lot. Here is Tony Lato trying to play it back to the edge of the area. The fullback will decide to just let that run. Marcelino wearing the official club coat, particularly pleased, and just telling his defence to tighten up a bit. Well, the Las Palmas begin to make changes sooner rather than later. They obviously don't want to open up too much at the back and get hit on the break. It's a fine balancing act for Paco Gémez now. Pereira takes on Danny Castellano, pulls it back, but now Martin Montoya having to do some defending from the front, does so. Maximovic hits it. What a goal that is! Nemanja Maximovic with a pile driver into the top left-hand corner, and Valencia are beginning to run away with this now. Really, really fine effort that. And now Las Palmas are beginning to sink without trace here. Really top quality hit. Yeah, one look up, saw where Lithuania was, just took aim. It's here. I've got to say Montoya did ever so well, put the challenge in there, which meant the clearance wasn't particularly good. What an effort that is. right-footed across the keeper, and you'll see from this angle, Lithuania was very near his left-hand post, it has to be said. Positionally, not great, standing behind Maurizio Lemos. Maksimovic picking out that far corner with some aplomb, really drove through the ball up into the top corner of the net. 3-0 to the home side, 4-1 in aggregate. And I've got to say, I cannot see a way back for Las Palmas now. There are still 35 minutes to play. If they were to pull one back fairly soon, it would make for a really enticing cup tie. Otherwise, Valencia may go on and begin to rack up even more goals. Almost had a cricket score there, but probably not quite that. But Las Palmas would have come out full of verve and drive with the words of their coach ringing in their ears and wanting something from the game. That one off target. Vicente Gomez thought that wasn't too far away. Created some space for himself. His teammates probably felt that may have been a little bit greedy. In the end, I think it was quite a long way wide of the mark. Keeper on his haunches, realising he was flying wide of the post. Las Palmas do have to restore some pride. They go up to Girona on Saturday, which is by no means an easy task. Girona have recorded some very encouraging results, I've got to say, at Montilivi, also away from home, but particularly in front of their own supporters this season. Hasn't been a perfect run by any means, but so many predicted Girona to be the side that would go straight back down, and have surprised a few. Las Palmas at the moment, the team heading to the second tier, and also heading out of the Copa del Rey. Here is Lemos away from Zaza, up the line for Dani Castellano. A good ball into the feet of Jairo. Back it goes to Javi Castellano. Playing it around once again, Las Palmas. Valencia sitting back. Line of 4 and the 3 midfielders. They actually had 5 back there with Tony Lato as well. And then the tackle goes in. He was just waiting for that, wasn't he? Javi Castellano obliged. The goal again. What a wonderful strike it was. Not even better from this angle, but I still do question the keeper's positioning. Didn't line himself up centrally at all for that, did he? Stayed behind Lemos, went down to try and see the ball, and then was caught out by the shot coming across and rising up into that top corner. The respective sets of owners and members of the hierarchy of both clubs, with similar expressions as Simone Zaza approaches the area. And he'll try and go for goal himself now. In the follow-up, Tony Lato. Oh, he could see what he was trying to do. Got it all wrong, didn't he? On that occasion, the Las Palmas defence held out. Tony Lato not too happy. Golden opportunity for him to hit the target. Zaza trying to feed the runner and then turning away from Lemos. It's just off the feet of the back-tracking David Simon before the Valencia fullback skewed it wide. 8 attempts on goal. Las Palmas only registering 1. That is on and off target, of course, that figure, but nevertheless, that means Vicente Gomez's effort really was perhaps the first. They did have the ball in the net in the first half, Las Palmas, but the referee ruled it out when Ruben Besso went over very easily indeed under the challenge of Jonathan Cayeri. Now the turn. Vieto looking. Zaza not making the run. Las Palmas are just beginning to not panic exactly, but they need to just regain some composure. Try and play it around. That ball looking out wide. Only one option going forward. It's a 50-50 challenge which Martin Montoya comes out of. And it's just something the Las Palmas have to sharpen up. The passing, the movement. Easier said than done, perhaps, but just certain basic elements of the game need to be get right before they can consider anything fancy. A bit of pressure on the ball as well. Zaza down. Vieto to the advanced figure of Martin Montoya, continues his run upfield. Zaza just slows things down ever so slightly, brings it back to Maksimovic. I'm sure the crowd wouldn't mind him having another crack at goal. Kondogbia to this near side for Tony Lato. Maksimovic. Vieto. Pereira pulling back. Now Montoya into Pereira once more. He goes up and over to this far side. It's a decent ball for Nacho Gil. Tony Lato calling for it. They won't get an end of it, far too much on it. And two Valencia youngsters combining. And now we'll see the introduction of the club captain, Dani Parejo, and indeed veteran Alberto Aquilani will be coming on for the away team, and he will replace Hernan. Not exactly the most attacking of substitutions, it has to be said, but perhaps Aquilani just adding a bit of guile and experience to the Las Palmas midfield. The Valencia substitution will have to wait. There is Aquilani rolling it out for his first touch to Dani Castellano. And now get another touch and really lacing it across into the corner. Not a good ball at all, looking for Alen Halilovic. Now we will see the first change for the home side. I'm going to say Dani Parejo will be the player coming on. A warm round of applause for the player who put the ball up into that top corner, Nemanja Maksimovic. He makes his way off. A warm round of applause from the Mestalla faithful. And there is his goal. And it really is one to savour, isn't it? Up and over the keeper. Halilovic lifting that one into the area over the top of Jairo. And Jairo sees the ball deflect off him and away for a throw. Martin Montoya to take. Intelligent header back there from Ruben Veso. Plenty more Copa del Rey action coming up for you tomorrow evening, starting with Alaves against Formentera and Villarreal against Leganés, both at 7:30, while Real Madrid, they take on Numancia. And on Thursday night, it is Levante against Espanyol and Sevilla Cádiz at 7:30, and the latter game, Barça against Celta de Vigo. And of course, next week, as I did say rather, the first leg of the quarter-finals. There is Vieto's run. You see him arcing away. It's really well played, and now he's back into the centre. Had the composure and vision just to take the touch and lift it up and over the keeper. Everyone delighted with that. Here is Halilovic. Aquilani into the centre for Vicente Gomez. Cayeri dropping a bit deeper. Valencia just looking to close down the space, and now we'll see the movement. In the end, Martin Montoya, as I said, having a very good game at right back, stopping the run round the outside. Going back to the halfway line. Las Palmas will start again. Now 25.5 minutes of the tie left. Do Las Palmas have it in them to make this something of a competition. David Simon to Halilovic. Tony Lato trying to close it down. Halilovic's ball in. Just trying a bit of percentage football. Put it in and see if anyone can get hold of it. Lithuania lifts it into the midfield beyond Kondogbia. Good flick that. Vicente Gomez back to Aquilani and then trying to beat the keeper from distance. Wow, what a goal that is! Vieto for the hat-trick. Goal of the night. Goal of the week. And one of the goals of the season from Luciano Vieto. I said he showed good vision and good technique for his second goal, but what about that? Lithuania, again, may have been poorly positioned for Maximovic's goal. Where was he? He just stepped forward. I know goalkeepers are supposed to be off their line when the ball is not within 25 or 30 yards of their goal, but what a superb effort that is. And he meant every single moment of it. Look at that. Looking up and over the top of the keeper, and Luciano Vieto will be taking home the match ball this evening. Stunning effort that. Glorious, right in under the crossbar. Now another change for the home side. It will be the number 33 Ferran Torres who comes on, and Nacho Gil who goes off. Vieto stays on. Just thought they may well give him a rest, having got his hat-trick. But no, the chance to try out the youth team players. Don't see the more established stars. As I said earlier, looking on from the Wanda Metropolitano, Atletico Madrid fans will A, be wondering why he didn't do that for them, and B, wondering whether the team have made a mistake. As Pereira tests Lithuania again, this time at his near post. It's 4-0, 5-1 on aggregate. Valencia, I have a feeling, have more goals in them. This may be effectively over as a contest, but with the quality of goals being scored, well worth staying with us. See what Valencia have to offer. Lithuania reaching that, prodded away, and this will do no good at all for Las Palmas' confidence, it has to be said. A real drubbing here in Mestalla this evening. Going forward, though, has been a real problem. One attempt on goal, 10, I was going to say 10 conceded, but you get the drift. It's very much like their statistics in La Liga Santander as well. Valencia building again. Las Palmas sitting back, trying to defend. Keep out the home side. Tony Lato looking for options and eventually finds it with the hat-trick scorer Luciano Vieto. He prods it back and they just return it. Vicente Gomez, good skills from Pereira. Lato looking into the centre. It was held up by the youngster Ferran Torres before he was tackled, but it drifts away to the left-hand side, and the home team do manage to keep possession. Pereira, he thought he might try and find a teammate, but only Vieto was alongside him and not really in a position to receive that. Fifth corner for Valencia, none for Las Palmas, and all these statistics do tell a story when the scoreline reads like this. I do sometimes say the statistics can't always be trusted. The team with lots of possession aren't always the team that come out on top, but on a night like this, Valencia have been much better than Las Palmas overall. And here's David Simon. Prods it back and just falls over. Gives it back to Pereira. Step overs from him. He goes for goal again, this time wide of the post. Keeper covering it all the way. Had his bearings, Lithuania, on that occasion. Taking Javi Castellano out of the equation. Just being a bit fanciful there, Pereira. Fancy getting himself in on the act of great goals for the evening. Paco Kemeth knew when he took over he had a huge job on his hands. And now he knows just how tough that task is. And now the player coming on won't ease Las Palmas' nerves. Rodrigo Moreno about to enter the fray up front, and I've got a feeling he will be coming on for Moreno. He may come on for Zaza, we will have to see, one of the two. Unless Valencia do decide to go for all-out attack and keep them all on. That really would be quite something. Pass back just rescued there by Gabriel. Besso pokes it into Pereira, who then produces a piece of skill and is fouled by David Simon, not having his best second half, it has to be said. And here is the change, and it is Luciano Vieto who will go off and receive a very, very warm round of applause from his new adoring public. A hat-trick tonight, and Vieto rings out around Mestalla as he makes his way off. "42 metres out, right up into the top corner of the net. Turned, had a look, and what about that? And the accuracy on that really is stunning. Dropped just in under the crossbar. Lithuanian knows he's been well and truly beaten from a very long way out. Not something any goalkeeper likes, but Vieto will be back onto the field at full time to reclaim one of the footballs, of course, in this day and age, not necessarily scored the hat-trick with the same ball. That was a poor pass back, though. Sounds of frustration from the stands. They want more goals. Halilovic twisting and turning, only giving it straight back to Jeffrey Kondogbia, however. Kondogbia now able to play it forward. Rodrigo Moreno will fancy his chances of perhaps getting in on the goal-scoring act against a porous Las Palmas defence. Dani Parejo picks it up, out wide to Rodrigo Moreno. He tried to put it back across the face, and instead will make do with a corner. He's the man of the moment, just getting himself organised on the bench. His evening's work is done. Sixth corner of the game for Los Che. This one taken short. Tony Lato back to Pereira. I'm sure he fancied a shot, but he's had a couple already. Doesn't want to frustrate his teammates too much. Parejo, Moreno making the run down the outside. Challenged by David Simon, and this time the fullback getting the better of the striker, who's come on wearing the leggings and not quite up with the pace of the game as yet. Alberto Aquilani saying, "Where is everybody? Come towards me." Jairo just stood there. That's Palmas at the moment looking slightly bereft of ideas, it has to be said. They're up against a very strong Valencia side, that is very much true, but another aimless long ball forward. Vicente Gomez won't pick up that. Pereira with the clever flick, not on the same wavelength as Rodrigo, however. Another glorious tackle. He thought he was going to get up and be able to keep that in. Not the case, and Danny Castellano will have the throw. Another change off the bench for the away team, and it will be Borja Herrera Gonzalez who will come on. Well, that's Palmas youth teamer. Left back by trade, and he will come on to replace the player who was about to take that throw in, Danny Castellano. Has to make his way all the way over from that far corner. Paco Jimenez must be looking around at these players and be very, very grateful that he's got 3 more weeks of the transfer market in which to dip into, if indeed there are any funds. Maybe use the loan market wisely as well. Has made another couple of signings, as I said earlier. Galvez on loan from Eibar to shore up things at the back, and Peñalba coming in from Cruz Azul in Mexico. Danny Parejo with the tackle. His ball forward isn't quite so accurate, off the head of Javi Castellano. Halilevich just beginning to feel the boot, and he will call across for a substitution he made. Pereira looking to take on David Simon and goes back to Kondogbia. And the Valencia fans now taunting Las Palmas with cheers of Ole. It was all part of that chant, I'm not too sure. Seemed to go in unison with the passes. Kayeri, David Simon. That ball held up. There's the ball in, and just carelessly offside, needlessly offside, it has to be said. Las Palmas players on the sidelines probably thinking, I don't really fancy getting on here. Coming into a game with their side losing by 4 goals to nil, with a real lack of inspiration out there now. It is Gabriel for the home side. Danny Parejo, Kondogbia making the move. Parejo deciding, can't find him. Just rolls it across to Ruben Besso. So back to Parejo, who then just to launch it forward. Controlled on that far side by the youngster Ferran, who's battling away. Gives it up though. In the end, tackled by Borja Herrera. Las Palmas will have the throw. Ripple of applause for that particular challenge. Aquilani goes backwards to David Garcia. Now David Simon on to Halilevich, back to the fullback, and Las Palmas being forced backwards once again. Even the tackles being applauded now. Back with Lithuanian. Andy Gomez with the spinning pass out wide to the far side, up and over the top. Valencia comfortably able to get a hold of that. Vicente Gomez having a bit of time on the ball now, the away team. Turns it back. Aquilani with the floated pass out to David Simon on this near side. Halilevich gives it back to the fullback, looking for the run. Kayeri takes a tumble. Halilevich picks it up. David Simon took a tumble, and that will be a free kick. Any time that Las Palmas have reached the final of the Copa del Rey was back in 1978. They lost 3-1 in that final to Football Club Barcelona. They've reached the semi-final on 3 occasions, and the quarter-finals, which is the next round from this one, on 3 occasions as well. The last time they reached the semi-finals was back in 1997. Prior to that, 1984, and the quarter-finals a couple of times in the 70s. Aquilani into the area, the header across the face of goal and wide by Kayeri. Still involved, but as I said before, really getting such little service. If he was to get the right balls into the area, he could be a very useful striker indeed. Looks like it did come off a Valencia man, of course, with the corner being awarded by Mr. Del Ferro Grandi. Oh, must have been off Simone Zaza, but the referee has better eyesight than I do. The switch of corner over to that far side. Will be the man who's just come on board, Herrera, who takes it. He puts far too much on it. It is Pereira receiving the ball from Herrera. And here it is again. That's a strong tackle coming in from David Garcia there, just to ensure Valencia cannot break away. Another change down below us, and that will be Tanner, who will be thrown on, and he replaces Alen Halilevich, who, as I mentioned earlier, did appear to be struggling ever so slightly. So the Croatian off, not having had a particularly good game, as I said, failing somewhat to live up to the billing he had at Barca. And Pedro Tanasu Dominguez Placeres is on, the 27-year-old from Las Palmas. Kondogbia missed controls. Vicente Gomez puts it up and over the top. Tanner now a willing runner. Tony Lauto does ever so well. Fires it against the Las Palmas man, away and into the stands. Chama Dominic comes into the side, of course, in place of Neto for the cup. Must be, considering he's had a very quiet evening. When goalkeepers come into games who don't play much, they want to make the odd save just to show what they're all about. But he's not had the opportunity here this evening, has he, Dominic? Those Valencia fans behind the goal, though, away to the right, certainly enjoying their evening. And why not? 4-0 up, and it's just becoming a procession in these last 10 minutes, but they want more goals. Tony Lato out wide to Pereira. Rodrigo Moreno in the centre. Pereira going round in circles. Tony Lato getting the chest on it. He will keep it in. Pereira may be required once more. Now it goes back to the captain, Danny Parejo, who just completely takes out Jonathan Cayeri. That's Palmas get back in. Condoglia puts the challenge in. Javi Castellano through, and Tony Lato goes over the back of Cayeri and will be booked for his troubles, and that is the first yellow card of the game to be produced by the referee in the 81st minute of the encounter. Been a dirty game by any stretch of the imagination, this one. Floor. Looks like Las Palmas maybe struggling here. Vicente Gomez is down. They've made all 3 changes, don't forget, the away team. There it is, Gonzalo Guedes on the right hand side. Neto, of course, and Ezequiel Garay also on the bench there as well. Here's Maximovic's shot, and we're probably going to see, we didn't see the view through the player's eyes. Always a feature of that. So Hazard delighted with it. Maximovic there, sitting next to Guedes, of course. Vicente Gomez limps out of the action. Paco Gémez probably, yeah, there you go. That's the perfect expression to sum up Las Palmas' night. A puff of the lips and look up at the skies, one would suspect, as to say, I have really got a big job on here. Whether he's bitten off more than he can chew, we'll have to find out, as that shot will register as a Las Palmas effort on goal from Aquilani. Dominic will just have to receive the ball from the ball boy rather than having to do anything to keep it out of his goal. Vicente Gomez back on. Las Palmas will be thankful at least they don't play out the remaining 7 minutes of this tie with 10 players. Even more running, of course, returning to league action, as I say, at the weekend up in the north of Catalonia against Girona. Have some defending to do here, though, is Pereira full of running. Squares up to David Simon, one way then the other, but he's just overcooked things a little bit in the last few minutes here, Pereira. This time he does put it right in. It wasn't a bad ball, was it? Whips it into the 6-yard area. And he needed the slightest of touches. Decent ball in. So Lemos having to hook the second ball away. Aquilani brings that under control, turns and launches a rather inaccurate pass forward. Maybe slightly despairing Alberto Aquilani. Used to playing in a slightly more rigid system, slightly higher quality players, but he also needs to lead by example. Just punting the ball forward won't help anyone. Here is Ruben Vesso. See how tight Las Palmas are trying to keep it now, trying to keep Valencia as far away from their goal as possible. Down the line, good interchange. Tony Lato gets away from Tanner. A very good pass back into the centre. Manages to just about keep it there for Ferran before giving it away after having said that. And Pereira having his shirt pulled quite clearly by Aquilani. Play on, said the referee, and quite wisely. Montoya trying to go round the keeper, then hooks it, attempting to get it goalwards. Well played by Martin Montoya. Kehlani and Pereira getting into it. Doesn't seem to be anything in it there, but Pereira obviously deciding to have a few words with the Italian veteran. Once that ball had gone out, Montoya just not able to get his body shape right. And there were also a couple of defenders preventing him from getting that shot on target. Kondogbia as the chorus starts up again with a different song on this occasion. More tuneful than others, it has to be said. Do thoroughly enjoy a clever football chant though, it has to be stated as the scarves go up. I'm not sure that the brass band's now beginning to join in. Tony Lato trying to feed it into Rodrigo Moreno, who hasn't really, as I say, got up with the pace of the game since coming on. Vicente Gomez. Coaching staff looking far more relaxed than Las Palmas head coach certainly does. 3 minutes remaining, 2 half-hearted efforts towards Jaume Domenech's goal, and maybe now breaking beyond. Rodrigo Moreno played through early. He has got 2 players. Zaza well picked out, goes for the spectacular. Mauricio Lemos just putting him off. Carry on, Martin Montoya again up from the back, doing ever so well. That ball floated in, Javi Castellano knocks it away. Montoya getting the tackle in to retain possession for Valencia. Kondogbia into the right back. Dani Parejo to Kondogbia, and in the end the referee decides that was a free kick, and it is Kehlani again with another quite strong tackle in the midfield. Foul on that occasion. Now Las Palmas with one last chance to just try and ease forward, but they give the ball away almost as soon as they received it. Now Dani Parejo, the crowd wouldn't mind a 5th goal to be sent on their way home with. Going down that far side, Ferran. He's tackled in the end by Borja Herrera. Real throw in to Los Che. Have been some really good goals this evening. All 3 in the second half have been of the highest quality, it has to be said. Vieto's first showed good touch and technique to lift it up and over the keeper. Maksimovic with that drive from outside the area. And then, of course, Vieto's third, Valencia's 4th, from such a long way out. It was a glorious effort. Tackles flying in now as Las Palmas just begin to show signs of frustration. Pereira spinning one way then the other. Lato looking for movement, going back to Pereira. Pereira down the line now. Lato trying to get past David Simon. Between them, the 2 Valencia players lose out to the 3 Las Palmas players around them. Kehlani sprays it across. That was going to be a late challenge if ever I saw one. That's better play from the visitors here. Down the outside though, Cayeri will look to hold it up, but he's brushed aside by Ruben Besso. Far too easy for the Valencia man, and Rodrigo Moreno and taken out on his way through. And I've got a feeling that will be the 2nd yellow card of the evening, and it will be for David Garcia. David Garcia booked for Las Palmas, yep, quite clearly as well. The arm wins up as if to say, you're not getting past, mate, you're not getting to that. Taking one for the team there, we're not conceding a fifth. Kondogbia though with a good ball out wide to Ferran. He looks to get the crossover, can't get it round Borja Herrera, and 3 additional minutes added on as Valencia have themselves a corner here. It was taken quickly and would have been a very good idea, but the referee decides in the end to pull it back. Not too sure why, but he has done. That's very well played from Ferran. He does keep it in and does win Valencia another corner. Las Palmas by this stage beyond complaining about the fact that may have gone out. Just trying to buoy each other up. Borja Herrera just trying to keep his arms out of the way of that. 5 Valencia players go forward for this one, and then it does go short. Oh, no, it doesn't. It goes all the way back to the corner taker. Well, this is worked out on the training ground. Oh, it's not far away. Kondogbia slides in on Lithuanian. Catches the Las Palmas goalkeeper, and that will wind down the clock. A few words that probably can't be translated from the Las Palmas number 1. Kondogbia had every right to go for it though, and I'm sure as a goalkeeper, having played for the last 15 odd years in between the sticks, that won't be the worst challenge that Lithuania has ever received. At the centre of this particular move, saying to David Simon, come on, get forward, cross into the area. Dangerous ball in it was too. Comfortably cleared away to this near side, but got to say, Valencia really have done a job tonight. They've looked like a team flying high in the league, riding high in confidence. Las Palmas look like a team bottom of the division with very little to offer going forward and a porous defence. They've just allowed goals. They couldn't do much about the 4th one, admittedly, but the other 3 they were undone for, and Valencia could have had more. 30 seconds remaining of the 3 additional minutes. That goes in. He's actually headed away by David Garcia. Defensive header, but in the wrong penalty area. That's a good challenge from the backtracking Ferran Torres on that far side. Now Jairo has been virtually anonymous for the last half an hour or so. Up and into the area, and Tony Lauta will allow it to run, and I've got a feeling that by the time this goal kick is ready to be taken, a full-time whistle will blow, and there it is. Mr. Del Cerro Grande draws proceedings to a close, and it's been one-way traffic for the majority of that encounter, especially in the second half, where both sides came back out. It was all very tight, 1-0 to the home side.
So it is Valencia moving on to the quarterfinals in the Copa del Rey.